Hello and welcome to our English news edition broadcast to you by Canal Algérie. First, to the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, carries a large-scale reshuffle among governors and governors' delegates. The President of the Republic honors the Arab U17 football champions along with other athletes who shone in other competitions. The President of the Republic sends official invitations to the Omani Sultan Haytham bin Tariq and the Mauritanian President Mohammed Ould Sheikh Al Ghazawani to attend the upcoming Arab Summit here in Algiers. The joint Algerian-Mauritanian Commission is crowned with the signing of 26 agreements pertaining to several sectors. And finally, the Army General Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, Saïd Chengriha, receives the U.S. Ambassador to Algeria, Elizabeth Moore-Oben. Good evening, those were today's headlines. First in our news, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, carried a large-scale reshuffle at the provincial level. He terminated the duties of 16 governors and 3 delegate governors. The concerned governorates by this operation are Laghwat, Bouaqi, Batna, Tebessa, Jijel, Serif, Saïda, Sidi Bel Abbas, Galma, Constantine, Tism Silt, Wed Souf, Mila, Indfla, Ghardaya, and Lemnia. As for the delegate governors, he terminated the duties of those of Bab el Oued, Zeralda, and Sidi Abdullah in Algiers province. The President of the Republic also transferred 10 governors to other provinces, namely those of Shlef to Biskra, Biskra to Ghardaya, Blida to Borj Bararich, Bouira to Ghirizan, Tamarraset to Mila, Tiaret to Serif, Algiers to Blida, Mascara to Constantine, Borj Bararich to Batna, Ghirizan to Shlef. The deputy governor of the new city of Ali Menjili to Zeralda. In the same context, 16 new governors and 4 delegate governors were appointed by the President of the Republic. In another context, the players of the U17 national football team were honored by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, after winning the 2022 Arab Cup held in Algeria. On this occasion, the football team offered the President of the Republic the Arab Trophy. Melissa Kubash has the details.
السيد رئيس الجمهورية.
The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received at the People's Palace the football players of Arab Under-17 Foot Cup champions, alongside Algerian athletes champions in different international competitions held in 2022. High officials of the state were present during the ceremony, including the President of the Council of Nations, Salah Goujil, the Constitutional Court's President, Omar Belhaj, the Army General Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, Saïd Chengriha, Minister of Youth and Sport, Abdelrazak Sebgag, advisors of the President and members of the government. This ceremony is part of the President of the Republic's policy to support athletes and promote sports. The President distinguished the U17 football players who won the Arab Cup of 2022 held in Algeria.
ينال شهادة تقدير وعرفان من السيد رئيس الجمهورية ومكافأة مالية. يتقدم اللاعب عبد الوهاب ساطا يحظى بشهادة تقدير وعرفان ومكافأة مالية من السيد رئيس الجمهورية. يتقدم لاعب الدفاع يونس بداني ويحظى بشهادة تقدير وعرفان ومكافأة مالية من السيد رئيس الجمهورية. يتقدم لاعب وسط الميدان مليك كحلوشي ينال شهادة تقدير وعرفان ومكافأة مالية من السيد رئيس الجمهورية. أحسن لاعب في دورة كأس العرب للناشئين لأقل من 17 سنة مسلم أناتوف لاعب الهجوم يحظى بشهادة تقدير وعرفان ومكافأة مالية من السيد رئيس الجمهورية. قائد فريق المنتخب الوطني المتوج بكأس العرب للناشئين لأقل من 17 سنة فايز عمام يحظى بشهادة تقدير وعرفان ومكافأة مالية من السيد رئيس الجمهورية. المتوجين في رسم فعاليات الألعاب الإسلامية للتضامن بتركيا.
The Head of State also honored medal winners during the Islamic Solidarity Games held in Turkey.
شهادة تقدير وعرفان ومكافأة مالية من السيد رئيس الجمهورية. تتقدم الرياضية عيسيوي لميا، وهي المتوجة بميدالية ذهبية وميدالية برونزية في اختصاص الرافل زوجي وفردي. تقدم الرياضي زكيري طارق، وهو المتوج بميدالية ذهبية في اختصاص الرافل زوجي. يحظى بشهادة تقدير وعرفان ومكافأة مالية من السيد رئيس الجمهورية. يتقدم الرياضي السباح سعيود جواد، وهو المتوج ب3 ميداليات ذهبيتان وفضية. يحظى بشهادة تقدير وعرفان ومكافأة مالية من السيد رئيس الجمهورية.
Several eminent athletes were also honored by the President, including the disabled athletes.
أدعو الرياضي سجاتي جمال. إلى المتوج في بطولة العالم للألعاب القوى في كالي دولة كولومبيا شهر أوت سنة 2022 يتقدم الرياضي شنيتف هيثم، وهو المتحصل على ميدالية فضية في اختصاص 800 متر. شهادة تقدير وعرفان ومكافأة مالية نجح حسن يوسف بميدالية ذهبية في اختصاص الكاراتيدو. العربي محمد هو المتوج بميدالية فضية في اختصاص الكاراتيدو الألعاب الأولمبية للصم التي جرت فعالياتها بالبرازيل. يحظى بشهادة تقدير وعرفان ومكافأة مالية من السيد رئيس الجمهورية. تتقدم الرياضية بن صالح يسرى، وهي المتوجة بميدالية برونزية في اختصاص الجودو في الألعاب الأولمبية للصم التي جرت فعالياتها بالبرازيل. تحظى بشهادة تقدير وعرفان ومكافأة مالية من السيد رئيس الجمهورية.
On this occasion, a souvenir photo was also taken before offering the President the 2022 Arab Cup by the national squad of U17. The President of the Republic was also honored by the President of the 4th edition of the Arab Under-17 Football Cup with the former FLM player Mohamed Maouch as a guest of honor.
Taking the floor, the Youth Minister Abdurrazzaq Zibgag affirmed that sporting achievements are the outcome of the President's vision meant to promote this vital sector. In other news, and in his capacity as a special envoy of the President of the Republic, the Energy Minister continues his tour in the Gulf countries. Mohamed Arqab was received this Wednesday in Muscat by Saad bin Tariq Al Said, Deputy Prime Minister in charge of Relations and International Cooperation, Special Representative of the Sultan of Brotherly Oman, and to whom he handed an invitation letter sent by the President of the Republic to Haytham bin Tariq, Sultan of Oman, in order to take part in the next Arab Summit due to be held next November in Algiers. On this occasion, the Energy Minister conveyed the greetings of the President of the Republic to his brother Haytham bin Tariq and his wish to witness the participation of Oman in the next Arab Summit and make its judicious contribution to strengthen the joint Arab action in order to meet the aspirations of the Arab peoples. For his part, Saad bin Tariq Al Said confirmed the participation of the Sultanate of Oman in the next Arab Summit. He transmitted as well his greetings to the President of the Republic. The meeting was also an opportunity to discuss the bilateral relations and the prospects for their development, particularly in the field of energy, cultural exchanges, and startups. On Wednesday, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, sent an official invitation to the President of the Islamic Republic of Mauritania, Mohammed Ould Sheikh Al Ghazawani, in order to take part in the next Arab Summit slated for the 1st and 2nd of November. The message was handed over in Nouakchott by the Interior Minister, Brahim Merad, in his capacity as a special envoy of the President of the Republic. For his part, the Mauritanian President confirmed his participation in the summit. Following the audience, the Interior Minister had this to say.
I was honored to be received by the Mauritanian President, Mohammed Ould Sheikh Al Ghazawani, as the special envoy of the President of the Republic. I handed him the invitation to attend the Arab Summit to be held in Algeria. He accepted the invitation since the Algiers meeting is not to miss in addition to the interest he has for his Algerian counterpart. President Tebboune, who tasked me to convey him his best regards.
In other news, the Council of the Nation affirmed that Algeria successfully deepened the democratic practice at the different levels of the socio-political life, according to a statement of the Political Bureau on the occasion of the International Day of Democracy. The statement was also affirmed by Algeria's attachment to democracy in all circumstances as the crowning achievement of the rationalization and modernization of governance methods followed by all bodies and authorities of the country in accordance with an enlightened vision and under the supervision of the President of the Republic, according to a statement made public by the Bureau of the Council under the supervision of the President of the Senate, Salah Gouji. The Prime Minister Ayman bin Abdurrahman was received on Wednesday by the President of the Islamic Republic of Mauritania, Mohammed Ould Sheikh Al Ghazawani. It is worth recalling that bin Abdurrahman arrived on Tuesday in Nouakchott as the head of an important ministerial delegation for a working visit as part of the 19th Mauritanian-Algerian Joint Commission. Let's now have a listen to the statement made by Algeria's Premier.
حيث أبلغته تحيات أخيه الرئيس عبد المجيد تبون المتضمنة أسمى آيات المحبة والأخوة والعزم على المضي قدما في تكريس شراكة في كل الميادين، شراكة صادقة مبنية على.
In the same context, the Algerian Premier Ayman bin Abdurrahman held discussions with his Mauritanian counterpart Mohammed Ould Bilal Massoud. And the proceedings of the 19th Algerian-Mauritanian Joint Commission was crowned with the signing of 26 agreements and memoranda of understanding pertaining to several sectors of cooperation. More details with Sabrine Tefergenit.
26 cooperation agreements including all the vital fields with an aim to serve the two nations and strengthen the principle of good neighborliness were signed. The Prime Minister Ayman bin Abdurrahman insisted on the relations' historical depth between the two countries and that the 19th session is the outcome of the agreement of the presidents of both countries' determination to boost cooperation partnership.
تجتمع لجنتنا الكبرى اليوم في دورة جديدة عملا بتعليمات قائدة.
The meeting of our Joint Commission in its new edition comes in line with the instructions of both Presidents Abdelmajid Tebboune and his counterpart Mohammed Ould Sheikh Al Ghazawani during his visit to Algeria in December last year in order to boost our relations to the highest levels of cooperation and partnership, serving both nation interests and people's aspiration to more cooperation.
من التعاون والتضامن والتكامل وقد عرفت علاقات التعاون الثنائي والشراكة بين.
Cooperation relations between Algiers and Nouakchott, according to the Prime Minister, will be reinforced and strengthened by deploying all the necessary conditions and reducing the hurdles. I would like to recall the importance of reinforcing cooperation between our countries in security fields via the implementation of the recommendations of the first edition of the Algerian-Mauritanian Border Committee, held in November 21st, in addition to activating the Security Committee to face the challenges that our region is witnessing, as well as strengthening the force of decentralized cooperation that would contribute to support cooperation between the two countries. The cooperation meetings were considered, according to the Mauritanian Prime Minister, to be the outcome of a considerable work between the Algerian and Mauritanian presidents. Within this context, we appreciate cooperation and solidarity between our countries from the development and our deep satisfaction at our leaders' matching visions concerning regional and international matters. New agreements that would upgrade cooperation between Algeria and Mauritania and further integrate cooperation and exchange.
In a different context, the Army General Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, Saïd Chinguereha, received on Wednesday at the National Defense Ministry's premises the U.S. Ambassador to Algeria, Elizabeth Moore-Oben. This meeting, which took place in the presence of Secretary General of the Ministry of National Defense, general officers of the Ministry of National Defense, and the staff of the National People's Army, was an opportunity for both parties to discuss issues of common interest and examine the bilateral cooperation relations between the two countries, as well as means and ways to strengthen them. In another story, the President of the Constitutional Court, Omar Belhaj, received on Wednesday the General Prosecutor of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and member of the Council of Ulamas, Wuld Sheikh Saud bin Abdullah bin Mubarak al-Mu'jab, who is visiting Algeria at the head of a high-level delegation. Both parties put forward the deeply rooted relations between the two countries, notably in terms of consultations and the opening of new prospects for judicial cooperation and the fight against all forms of crimes. On this occasion, Omar Belhaj recalled the importance of the deep reforms initiated in the country under the leadership of the President of the Republic, especially in terms of supporting the judicial independence and the creation of a constitutional court. The President of the High Authority for Transparency, Prevention and Fight Against Corruption, Salima Misrati, received on Wednesday the General Prosecutor of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Wuld Sheikh Saud bin Abdullah bin Mubarak al-Mu'jab. Both parties stressed on the occasion the need for cooperation and coordination to fight against corruption. And the late Abdurrahman Mahdawi, former coach of the national military football team, was buried on Wednesday at the Garidi Cemetery here in Algiers after passing away on Tuesday at the age of 72. The burial ceremony was attended by high executives of the National Defense Ministry, sporting and national figures, as well as family members of the late. And finally, as part of their efforts in fight against terrorism and organized crime, units and detachments of the National People's Army carried out from the 7th to the 13th of the current month several successful operations reflecting the vigilance and permanent availability of our armed forces. Sabrin Taferganit once again.
Within the framework of fighting terrorism, detachments of the National People's Army arrested 5 individuals supporting terrorist groups and separate operations carried out across the national territory. Concerning the fight against organized crime and a continuity with the intense efforts aimed at controlling the scourge of narco-trafficking in our country, detachments of the National People's Army have arrested in coordination with various security services during various operations carried out across military regions 50 drug traffickers and thwarted attempts to smuggle huge quantities of drug across the borders with Morocco, amounting to 18 quintals and 7 kilograms of treated cannabis, more than 5,000 kilograms of cocaine, and 296,475 psychotropic tablets. Detachments of the National People's Army also intercepted in the provinces of Tamanrasset, Burj Baji Mukhtar, Ain Gizam and Janet 262 individuals and seized 2 submachine gun type Kalashnikov, a quantity of ammunition, 16 vehicles, 47 generators, 34 jackhammers, 3 metal detectors, detonating tools and equipment used in illegal gold mining operations. While 16 other individuals were apprehended, 9 hunting rifles, 4 automatic guns, quantities of foodstuffs destined for smuggling amounting to 11 tons, as well as 27 quintals of tobacco, 14,010 pyrotechnic articles were seized in Wurglab, Biskra, Al-Wad, Sleif, Betna, Msila and Ain Gizam provinces. For their part, the border guards, in coordination with the National Gendarmerie Services, thwarted attempts to smuggle large quantities of fuel amounting to 12,380 litres in Burj Baji Mukhtar, Tibissa, Al-Tarif and Suqahras provinces. Finally, the Coast Guards thwarted at the level of our national coast attempts of illegal immigration and rescued 337 individuals on board of homemade boats, while 176 illegal immigrants from different nationalities were arrested through the national territory.
And with this, our today's news edition comes to a close. Thank you for joining us.